We all carry an image of what a Catholic church should look like. A tall steeple pointing to heaven, stained glass windows glowing with holy light, a solemn altar where prayers rise. But what if that image is just the beginning of the story? Across the world, Catholic churches have been built that break free from every tradition. They rise from volcanic cliffs, deserts, and even the hands of one man who refused to give up on his dream. They are made of concrete, glass, stone, and sometimes carved entirely from the earth itself. Each one shows us that faith is alive, not frozen in time. These churches prove that sacred spaces can be ancient and modern, fragile and strong, rooted in tradition yet daringly new. And today, you are about to take a journey to discover them. Stay with us until the very end, because the number one church will leave you speechless. And don't forget, if you love stories of faith and wonder, make sure you like this video and subscribe so you never miss another powerful journey. Now, let's begin. Number 10, St. Joseph's Church, Le Havre, France. Where St. Joseph's Church rises like no other. Some churches are designed to blend in, but St. Joseph's demands your attention from the first glance. Its colossal octagonal tower, soaring 107 meters into the sky, dominates the skyline and serves as a beacon even to ships sailing far out at sea. Built after the devastation of World War II, the church was shaped not by medieval traditions but by the urgent need to rebuild a city from rubble. Architect Auguste Perret chose raw, exposed concrete, simple, strong, and unpolished. For the people of Le Havre, this material spoke of both scarcity and resilience. But it is not only the outside that amazes. Step inside and the world transforms. A flood of colored light pours down from 12,768 stained glass panels, each designed to honor the apostles. Blues, reds, and ambers shift constantly as the sun moves across the sky, painting the concrete walls with a living rainbow. Walking into this church feels like walking inside light itself. It is breathtaking, somber, and uplifting at the same time. St. Joseph's is not just a place of worship. It is a war memorial, a space where people remember the destruction of the city and the lives lost. Today, locals and travelers gather here not only for Mass, but also to stand in awe at how human creativity and faith could rise from ashes. As you step back out into the streets of Le Havre, prepare to journey from the sea to the sky. Our next destination is a chapel perched high above a volcanic spire. Number 9, Chapel of Saint Michel de Aiguilleux in Valais, France. Rising abruptly from a solitary volcanic needle nearly 279 feet above the rooftops of Louis in Valais, the Chapel of Saint Michel d'Aiguilleux commands both awe and curiosity. The rock itself was once a sacred site for ancient Celtic peoples. It was chosen for rituals centuries before Christianity reached the region. In 962, Bishop Godescal, having completed the grueling pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela, a journey spanning hundreds of miles, commissioned this chapel as a tangible sign of gratitude for his safe passage. Constructed atop the peak, its foundations blend seamlessly with the basalt. This creates an extraordinary harmony between architecture and geology. To this day, visitors retrace a route carved out over a millennium ago. They climb exactly 268 stone steps hewn directly into the steep rock face. Each level reveals shifting perspectives. There are narrow passageways, sudden panoramic views of the city, and distant massive central hills. And finally, the intricate Romanesque portal. It is still adorned with original 10th century carvings and ancient symbols. Inside, the chapel's compact nave is filled with the filtered light of stained glass. It illuminates Byzantine-inspired fresco and stone reliefs. Despite its size, the chapel houses centuries-old relics. It has remained a point of spiritual magnetism for over 1,100 years. Here, the boundary between earth and sky is not a metaphor. It is a daily reality experienced by those who make the ascent. Whether approached by pilgrims, historians, or curious travelers, the Chapel of Saint Michel d'Aiguilleux stands as a rare testament to endurance, devotion, and the ongoing dialogue between landscape and faith. If you think church architecture belongs only to the past, get ready to be surprised by a modern marvel. It boldly readiness sacred space in the heart of bustling San Francisco. Number 8. The Cathedral of St. Mary of the Assumption in San Francisco is like no other cathedral in the United States. Locals call it St. Mary's Cathedral, but many visitors simply call it unforgettable. Rising above the city's hills, its white silhouette looks more like a sculpture than a traditional church. Designed in the 1970s by two great architects, it abandons the familiar arches and domes of the past. Instead, four soaring concrete segments curve upward and inward, meeting at a glowing cross 190 feet above the altar. From the outside, it resembles a crown, or even hands folded in prayer. From miles away, you can spot it bright, stark, and unlike anything else in San Francisco's patchwork of architecture. Step inside, and the experience is even more stunning. The vast open space is bathed in natural light that filters through cleverly hidden windows. As the sun moves, beams of light shift across the walls and floor, creating an ever-changing play of shadow and color. The sanctuary is simple, almost bare, yet deeply powerful. Your eyes are drawn upward to the sculptural ceiling that seems to open toward the heavens. At night, the cathedral glows softly from within, hovering above the city like a lantern of faith. For more than 50 years, St. Mary's has stood as a bold experiment that worked combining engineering, spirituality, and modern vision. And now, as we leave the futuristic skyline of San Francisco, our path carries us south into Brazil, where art, suffering, and devotion came together to produce a Baroque masterpiece unlike any other. Number 7 is the Church of St. Francis of Assisi in Ouro Preto, Brazil. Nestled among rolling hills rich in gold, this church shines as one of the greatest works of Brazil's colonial era. Its Baroque and Rococo curves seem to ripple under the sunlight, each detail dancing across the facade like living lace carved into stone. But what truly makes this church extraordinary is the man behind its creation. Antonio Francisco Lisboa, known to Brazilians as Aleijadinho, suffered from a crippling disease that twisted his hands and feet. Yet he refused to be defeated. With assistants tying chisels and tools to his crippled limbs, he poured his imagination and devotion into this church. Inside, his carvings adorn every corner: altars, pulpits, statues, all alive with expression. Faces seem to breathe, angels seem ready to fly, and every swirl of wood and stone tells a story of triumph. Legend says that many artisans who worked alongside him refused payment, offering their labor as a gift of faith. And still today, when the bells of St. Francis ring across Ouro Preto, people gather not just for worship but to celebrate their heritage. They come to remember that beauty can emerge even in pain, and that devotion can carve light out of hardship. Leaving behind the ornate stone of Ouro Preto, our next journey takes us into a very different world, one where a single man, armed with only determination and faith, began to build his own cathedral. Number 6, the Cathedral of Justo Gallego in Medjugorje del Campo, Spain, is perhaps the most improbable church you will ever encounter. It was not commissioned by bishops, nor designed by famous architects. Instead, it began with one man, Justo Gallego Martinez. In 1961, he was a farmer with no training in architecture, no funds, and no permits. But he carried a dream: to build a cathedral in honor of God. For more than 60 years, day after day, he worked almost alone. He mixed concrete by hand, dragged old oil drums, scrap bricks, broken tiles, and any material he could find, and slowly raised walls, towers, and domes. Against all doubt, against every obstacle, he built. Today the cathedral rises over 130 feet high, with a massive dome inspired by St. Peter's Basilica and 12 towers reaching into the sky. Inside, you wander through chapels, arches, staircases, all designed without formal plans, built by sheer persistence. It is unfinished, yes, but it is alive. Visitors from around the world come here to witness what faith, perseverance, and vision can create without wealth or approval. Volunteers now help maintain it, and every year thousands walk its aisles with awe. Justo passed away in 2021, but his cathedral remains a monument to one man's devotion. To step inside is to realize that the extraordinary can come from the most ordinary of hands. And from this humble miracle, we journey once more to Brazil, to a cathedral that looks as though it were shaped not by hands at all, but by heaven's light itself. Number 5 is the Cathedral of Brasilia, Brazil's modern capital. In the very center of this planned city stands a church unlike any other, a crown of concrete and glass designed by the visionary architect Oscar Niemeyer. Completed in 1970, its form is unforgettable. 16 white concrete columns curve upward like hands raised in prayer, enclosing a luminous dome of glass that covers more than 21,000 square feet. Step inside, and it feels as if the sky has opened. Light pours through stained glass that glows in shades of blue, green, and white, shifting as the sun moves. Suspended above the nave are 3 giant angels, so light and graceful they seem to float, held by nearly invisible cables. Visitors often stop in silence, gazing upward as if heaven itself were bending down to meet them. The cathedral can seat 4,000 worshippers, yet it feels intimate, as though every corner is touched by light. More than 1 million people visit each year, drawn not only by faith but by the boldness of design, a statement that sacred architecture can be both timeless and futuristic. For Brazilians, it is a national symbol, a reminder that art and belief can shape a nation's heart. And as dusk falls over Brasilia, with the cathedral glowing softly like a lantern of faith, our journey turns to the deserts of America, where red cliffs and sunlight frame one of the most breathtaking chapels ever built. Number 4, the Chapel of the Holy Cross in Sedona, Arizona, is a vision of harmony between stone and spirit. Rising from the crimson sandstone cliffs, it looks almost as if a giant cross had been pressed into the rock by the hand of God himself. The chapel was dreamed into existence by a woman named Marguerite Brunswick Staud, who was inspired by a vision of the cross standing tall against the American landscape. Completed in 1956 with the help of architect Richard Hine, the design is daring and simple at the same time. From outside, the chapel appears to be a glass cross fused with stone. From inside, floor-to-ceiling windows open to sweeping views of Sedona's red rock canyons, glowing golden at sunrise and burning deep red at sunset. The sanctuary is small, yet the vast desert beyond becomes part of the church itself. A single tall crucifix stands at the front, silhouetted against the light, reminding every visitor that faith can transform even the wildest landscape into a sacred space. More than 2 million people now visit the chapel every year, pilgrims, tourists, seekers, all drawn by the powerful sense of peace that flows through this union of creation and creator. Whether you arrive at dawn, when mist rises from the desert, or at dusk, when the rocks are set ablaze, the Chapel of the Holy Cross offers an experience that is nothing short of transformative. And as we leave Sedona's glowing cliffs, we travel across oceans and centuries to one of the most extraordinary holy cities in Africa, where devotion is literally carved into stone. Number 3 is the Church of St. George, or Bet Georgis, in Lalibela, Ethiopia. To see it for the first time is to witness a miracle of both engineering and faith. Unlike other churches built upward from the ground, this one was carved downward into the earth itself, from a single block of volcanic rock. Its shape is unmistakable, a perfect cross, 82 feet by 82 feet, descending almost 40 feet deep into the ground. Constructed in the late 12th or early 13th century under King Lalibela, the church was designed as part of a New Jerusalem, a holy city for Ethiopian Christians who could not make the pilgrimage to the Holy Land. To reach it, you follow a narrow trench carved into the stone, winding down until suddenly you find yourself standing before walls, windows, and doorways all cut directly from living rock. Step inside, and the atmosphere is unlike any other church in the world, quiet, secluded, filled with chants that echo off volcanic walls carved more than 800 years ago. During great festivals such as Jena, Ethiopian Christmas, tens of thousands of pilgrims gather in Lalibela. They fill the courtyards and trenches, their prayers rising like incense into the sky. The church is not just an artifact, it is alive, still central to Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity, still filled with daily liturgies and chants. To stand in Bet Georgis is to step into a living tradition where earth and heaven meet. And from this ancient holy city, we now travel to South America, where faith and miracle meet above a roaring river gorge. Number 2, the Sanctuary of Las Lajas in Ipiales, Colombia, is one of the most dramatic churches on earth. Perched high on a stone bridge across a canyon, it seems to defy gravity itself. Its story begins in 1754, when a woman named Maria Muzas and her deaf-mute daughter were caught in a storm. They took shelter in a cave in the canyon, and there, according to tradition, the daughter suddenly spoke, crying out after seeing an apparition of the Virgin Mary on the stone wall. Word spread quickly. Pilgrims came, and soon the image of the Virgin was found imprinted miraculously on the rock itself, impossible to erase. Over the years, devotion grew, and in the 20th century, builders constructed the towering neo-Gothic basilica we see today. It rises more than 150 feet from the canyon floor, its spires reaching into the mist, its stone bridge connecting both sides of the gorge. Inside, stained glass windows blaze with color, but the heart of the sanctuary is still the original image on the rock, Our Lady of Las Lajas, venerated by countless pilgrims. Every year, more than 750,000 people make the journey here, climbing mountain roads, crossing suspension bridges, all to stand in awe of the miracle that began centuries ago. Some come seeking healing, others to give thanks, and many simply to be swept away by the sheer beauty of the setting. Standing on the bridge with the roar of the river below and the mist of the mountains around you, it feels as though you are in a place where heaven and earth have touched. And yet, even this miracle is not our final destination. The journey now takes us to Spain, to the most famous unfinished church in the world, a masterpiece that continues to rise toward the heavens to this very day. Number 1, Basilica of the Sagrada Familia, Barcelona, Spain. Dominating Barcelona's skyline, the Basilica of the Sagrada Familia is unlike any other church on earth. It is an ongoing masterpiece that captivates millions with its soaring organic forms and intricate symbolism. Designed by the visionary architect Anton Gaudí, construction began in 1882. For nearly a century and a half, the basilica has remained an unfinished testament to unyielding faith and unparalleled creativity. Its 18 spires, each representing a key biblical figure, twist upward in dramatic defiance of traditional forms. The tallest is expected to reach 566 feet upon completion in 2026, making it one of the tallest religious structures worldwide. Inside, visitors are enveloped in what Gaudí described as a forest made of stone. Massive columns branch out like trees, supporting a vault of stained glass windows that flood the interior with kaleidoscopes of vibrant color. These colors shift with the sun's movement throughout the day. The play of light and shadow creates a dynamic, almost living atmosphere where architecture and spirituality intertwine. Despite interruptions caused by the Spanish Civil War, economic challenges, and the COVID-19 pandemic, the basilica's construction has advanced steadily. It is fueled by donations from the estimated 4.5 million visitors who come annually, eager to witness this fusion of Gothic and Art Nouveau forms. Every sculpted facade tells stories from the life of Christ, birth, passion, and glory. Hidden details reflect Gaudí's devotion to nature, geometry, and Catholic doctrine. The Sagrada Familia is not merely a building. It is a symphony of art, theology, and human perseverance designed to resonate across centuries. As it nears completion, its legacy continues to inspire architects, artists, and pilgrims worldwide. It stands as a monument to faith's enduring power to shape history and elevate the human spirit. As we've seen, these 10 extraordinary Catholic churches each tell a story far beyond bricks and mortar. They are stories of faith, resilience, and vision that break every mold and challenge tradition. Which of these remarkable sanctuaries inspired you the most? Or is there another unique church you visited that left a lasting impression? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If this journey into sacred architecture and devotion moved you, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future explorations of faith and wonder. Thank you for watching. Remember, wherever you go, God's presence goes with you always.